Hi everyone, my name is Arvin Olano and welcome to my YouTube channel. Okay, nobody asked, but if you like home decor, interiors, you've probably seen a ton of videos of creators like myself finding restoration hardware dupes at places like HomeGoods. Now, I want to ask you a question. Is finding a dupe enough to give you the restoration hardware look? Absolutely not. So in today's video, we are going to dive deep into the restoration hardware style, and we are going to learn about how to get that look and how to achieve that style and that vibe. Because when I think of restoration hardware, I think classic, timeless, and luxurious. It's no wonder that so many people covet that design style. Now, before I begin, if you're looking for a channel that's going to help you live your style so that you can live a fashionable life, this is it. So you can go down below and hit that subscribe button. So the first thing you want to consider if you want to get the restoration hardware look is that size matters. Now, what I mean by this is when you're walking into the galleries and the showrooms, you are greeted by these oversized furniture pieces in every single corner. Now, I know not all of us, actually, I know most of us don't live in a mansion, but we can still use this idea of furnishing our homes with larger furniture pieces, as large as our homes will allow. Now, you want to keep in mind your space and you want to map out your furniture pieces, especially if you are moving in to a brand new home and you're just now doing some furnishing. I will say that oversized furniture can get really expensive. So one of my favorite things to scale up a room is to buy oversized art pieces. When you're picking out your oversized art pieces, make sure you go for something simple, something abstract, maybe even a nice and calm landscape piece. That way you can really let your furniture, your decor, do the talking. What's great about larger than life art pieces is it really scales up a room. Not only will it draw your eyes to a specific wall, but it really fills up a space, and it's gonna make your space feel larger and more expensive, and it's definitely gonna give off that restoration hardware kind of vibe. So my next tip to get the restoration hardware look is to use brass accents. Now, I'm not saying go out and buy a bunch of brass and gold pieces and decorate your entire home. No, I feel like restoration hardware follows the rule of thirds when it comes to their brass accents. And you will notice in their spaces, they normally start with a large brass mirror, the infamous gilt mirror, and then they will decorate another vignette, whether it's a picture light above an art piece, and then they will have a third brass piece on their coffee table. This way, you really unify the room when you see three different points that have the brass accent. I feel like the restoration hardware style is all about practicing restraint, and that's something that I'm trying to do here in my home as well. So my next tip to get the RH look is to layer your lighting. One thing that I noticed while I was walking around restoration hardware is there's so many light fixtures in one room, and these light fixtures will help draw your eyes into different vignettes that you create in your space, whether it be a pair of wall sconces to highlight a beautiful mirror, or maybe a picture light to showcase your favorite art piece. Or it could even be a massive chandelier to highlight the height of your ceilings. Nothing screams more luxurious than layered lighting. Now, if you're going to layer your lighting, my tip would be to start with the largest fixture first. So maybe it's a chandelier in that iconic candelabra style that restoration hardware is known for, or maybe you're doing a massive pendant. Start with the larger pieces first, that way you can find the sconces, the table lamps, the task lamps to match later on in your design process. So the next thing that I want to talk about is to layer your textiles. It's all about texture, texture, and more texture. And when it comes to the textiles at Restoration Hardware, you will see a lot of refined natural fibers from heavy Belgian linens, hand-tufted wools, hand-woven rugs, cashmere, and leathers. Now, these textiles will help to create that warmth and that inviting feeling when you decorate with lots of hard finishes like marble and iron that is present in the Restoration Hardware style. Remember to keep it simple and don't do anything that's too crazy or loud or heavily printed. And actually, one of my favorite ways to add that luxurious texture in your home is to use hand-woven wool rugs. Now, you can opt for brand new woven rugs, but one of my favorite ways is to use vintage Turkish rugs, and I've actually found affordable vintage rugs, both runners and large area rugs. I'm gonna link them down below in the description box, and I've actually sourced them all the way from Turkey. Yes, you heard me right, Turkey. Authentic vintage Turkish rugs. So if you're about that vibe, go ahead and check the link in the description box, because a vintage Turkish style rug at Restoration Hardware can go upwards of like $8,000. And who has time to buy an $8,000 rug? I mean, I know I don't, so go ahead and check that link down below in the description box. So the next thing that I want to talk about is the color palette. And it is no secret that Restoration Hardware is known for the soft, neutral tones. But I will say one thing that I noticed is that they use a lot of high contrast pieces. What I mean by this is you will notice that they will have their white cloud couch and white decorative pieces, but then they use high contrast black elements like black vessels, a large black chandelier, or maybe even a black Russian oak coffee table. There's something about injecting black into a space that creates that drama and that high contrast, and it's something that you can easily recreate in your home, whether it be with art pieces, maybe pillows, or using black vessels to decorate your space. So my next tip to get the RH look is to decorate with trees. And yes, you heard me right. Trees. One thing that I noticed in most of the spaces in the galleries is they like to include one singular statement tree in the corner of a room. Now, whether it be a bird of paradise that's super lush and green, or maybe you're going for a more European feel and using a large olive tree, or you can even go for a large fiddle leaf tree that reaches for the ceilings. Make sure the pot or the vessel that you use has that rustic kind of lived-in feel to really complete the Restoration Hardware vibe. And don't forget to dress the top of the plant with moss to give it that luxurious and expensive refined touch. And when it comes to the decor, less is more. You want to keep in mind the scale of the pieces that you bring into your home. You want it to be large and you want it to be substantial. And since you're using larger pieces, it's natural that you have to keep it more simple and minimal. So the next thing that I want to talk about if you want to get that Restoration Hardware look is to keep in mind that opposites attract. Now I want to go back to my example of the soft cloud couch. When you look at it, it's kind of unstructured, it's plush, it's inviting, but then the couch is juxtaposed with a hard surfaced marble coffee table. And right above the coffee table is this ironclad chandelier. And something about the mixing of the soft couch and those hard finishes of the marble and the iron creates that juxtaposition. You can do soft linens in your bedroom and juxtapose it with an iron chandelier, or maybe you're doing a modern coffee table and you add some vintage kind of earthenware vessels on top. It creates that yin and yang effect, and just trust me, it's gonna feel so balanced, so luxurious, and so RH. All right, everyone, that was it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you learned a little something on how you can achieve the Restoration Hardware look. Sound off in the comments down below if you found this video helpful. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.